This is Alex Hormozi's Systems Breakdown. You know, Alex claims you can build a $100 million offer with just his formula. But what he doesn't tell you is that it requires at least 20 different integrated revenue systems to actually implement the $100 million offer. You see, I've studied acquisition.com's entire back end, and today I'm revealing the implementation gap Hormozi doesn't cover in his free content. The actual systems you need to make his strategies deliver real revenue without working 100 hours a week like he does. So let me begin. I am going to be doing a demo on this screen and showing you all kinds of stuff out of the $100 million offer. And I bookmarked a couple things that are systems related, and then you get all that revenue from that offer by generating leads. So the corollary book, part 2, is the $100 million leads book. Just so you know, I am not an affiliate of Alex's, so I don't make any money on this, but I do want you to buy the book because there's gold in here. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today, how he scales and grows companies using the $100 million offers. Okay? And so you probably wonder what the offer is. If you haven't read the book, I'll just break it down for you. It's creating an offer. The formula is all based on creating value. So you want to give away massive value that customers will gladly pay for. So it's on page 29 of the book, what this value equation is. And I don't know if you can see it there, but I have it here. There's a dream outcome. Say, I want to lose 10 pounds in a week. And there's a perceived likelihood of achievement that is guaranteed in 1 week. And then there's a time delay, like in only 1 week. And there's an effort or sacrifice, and all that adds up to value. And maybe you could say how to lose 10 pounds in a week, guaranteed, without cutting carbs. So not much sacrifice. That would be an interesting offer. I'm interested. So here's an example from my firm. I'm a revenue systems consulting firm and called Deal Flow Dynamics. And so we offer a revenue clarity sprint because everyone wants to get clear on how they're going to make this $100 million. Everyone wants the $100 million, but no one knows how to make the $100 million. So that's what I'm going to teach you today. So I can give you that in our revenue clarity sprint. Okay. And so you can customize the offer to you. So for me, the dream outcome is hitting your 10x revenue target, getting to 100 million. Think of how rich you'd be. You'd have financial freedom. You'd be free to do whatever you want. So that's the kind of the heaven moment, the dream outcome. The perceived likelihood of achievement, boy, it's very high. We've helped so many clients, over 300 clients, scale very quickly. And then our sprint only takes 2 weeks. It's a sprint, man. We hit the ground running. We'll design your revenue command center and implement your systems, revenue systems blueprint. All in 2 weeks, getting your revenue systems fully designed for you in 2 weeks. Unheard of, amazing. And then your effort, we do all the work. You just have to come to 2 workshops and then come to 2 presentations and meetings and help us shape the plan. Okay, and so what's it worth, the value? Well, it should be worth millions to you, maybe tens of millions, because you don't have a plan, and we're going to create it, and it works. And so everyone needs it. And so the perceived cost is, let's say we charge $15,000 for it. Would you pay $15,000 to make 100 million? Yeah, it's a no-brainer. So you should feel silly if you don't let us build your revenue systems. And this is an ad for me. This is just an example. And if you do hire us, we will help you with your offer because it's a big piece of driving revenue. And so we'll get into all that. So let me give you a quick case study before you're like, yeah, right, Bryce, you're full of it. A client that you probably see them all over social media. I'm not naming any names, but we built them 3 funnels, connected those to a CRM. Each one had 3 different lead magnets. When the leads came in, we nurtured them with text and email, and we converted those ads. We brought in over 1,000 leads in 1 month. It's amazing. They were worth over $2.5 million in revenue. That's 100x ROI. This is literally a project we did last month. So if you're interested, there are revenue systems that drive money in your company, and that's the point of Alex Hormozi, and that's the point of our firm. We help you drive that revenue and stay laser focused on it. So if this is of interest, I'm about to go into it. So you're going to want to maybe subscribe and save this video so you can show it to your colleagues and talk to your partners about it. So you don't have to remember who I am. I'm Bryce Finderty. I'm the founder of Deal Flow Dynamics. But you're never going to remember Bryce, and you're not going to remember Deal Flow Dynamics. But if you save and subscribe, it'll be right in your YouTube channel. So I want to get it, before we get into the demos, just pretend you already have your $100 million offer. But I'll break it to you. It's actually offers. Alex bundles and stacks all of his offers in what they call a value ladder. I'm going to get into that in another video. But I'm going to show you how he does that on some of his systems. Now, before we get into the systems, I want to just show you some things he covers in his book of what he tracks. So these are some metrics you can pick up right now today. If you stop the video right here, that's okay. Grab this list, take a screenshot. What Alex tracks is he tracks how much he spends on ads. Now, he does a lot of ads. You also are spending on social. They may be free to post, but you do have to pay for people to make the content and post the content and engage. So there might be some labor on social. You're going to get impressions on all this media. You want to track your impressions. The response rate to those impressions, how many people click through or give you that lead. And then how many appointments are booked. He sells personally through appointment. What's the show rate for that appointment? And then you can do the appointment showed. And then your closing percentage is based on your appointments closed, who bought from your call, your appointment. The price you offered, and he often has different pricing stacks as well. And that will add up to the total revenue. Then you can calculate this, ROAS. If you ever heard that, it means return on advertising spend. If you do your advertising right and have a good funnel and a good offer, you can get to like spend $1 in, produces $9 of revenue. This is good. You're making more than you're spending on the ads. But Alex shows on this table a sad story of what a commodity sale looks like on page 29, where their advertising spend is, they get 50 cents out of every dollar, like literally wasting money on ads. And that's not even talking about the contribution margin. So this is how you go broke. This is bad. That means your systems are no good and your offer's no good, or your pricing's no good, or your salespeople are terrible. Something's really wrong. Okay. So now you want to get into the actual numbers. I'm going to break it down for you. This is a big calculation we do. We reverse engineer from your revenue target and show you what activities, revenue generating activities, are we going to have to do, and what metrics are we going to have to hit our targets so that we capture the revenue. Because you see, revenue is actually a lagging indicator. It shows up in your bank account at the end of the year, but the year's over. If you want to know that money's going to be there, you need to do leading indicator activities. You need to be doing the type of work that turns into money later, okay? So we're really gonna focus on those activities in your company that drive revenue. That's kind of the whole moral of the story here, both in our firm and Alex's. Revenue generating activities and systems. So if you want to get to 100 million in revenue, boom, financially free, and say your high ticket offer is $25K, plug in your cost of your clients or lifetime value of your client or of your offer, then therefore he's going to need 4,000 customers. And divide it by month or week, you could start to subdivide. He needs 300 and something customers every month. Okay? So going down through his funnel, then he's going to need X number of impressions on ads. coming to landing pages, and that's the click-through rate on the ad or the landing page traffic. That will bring in X number of visitors to the funnel, and then they will convert at 5 to 8%. That's not a great conversion rate. A lot of funnels convert much higher than that. Most of our funnels are in the 10 to 20, and a good lead magnet, especially a free one that everybody wants, can convert as high as 60%. So that will bring him in somewhere between 50,000 to 120,000 leads. You see, there's kind of guardrails on there. So there's kind of somewhere in there. Now that we have the leads, you have to talk to sales, because when sales talks to people, say you were targeting lawyers in Dallas, and the salespeople get on the call, and perhaps they're not a lawyer. Well, they're not sales qualified, and maybe they're not from Dallas. Maybe they're not sales qualified. So in this case, this often also looks pretty low to me. Our ads are usually much more targeted than this, but these are literally like, I literally can't sell them anything because they don't qualify for what we sell. Then once you get past them, so you're getting somewhere between 10 and 30,000 sales qualified leads. And out of them, since they're qualified, they all want to get on a call. Most of them want to book a call because they're interested in your offer. So you book the calls, you complete the calls. Some people are busy and they don't show up. Or they lie to you and say they're interested, but they're not, and they just want to get off the phone. And then you can calculate your sales call to sales conversion rate. So the more calls, the more money. All right. For those who didn't buy, we nurture them. Or they're on from your free list. They're not ready to buy. It's not yet. So now you're nurturing them on your email list. He's sending out tens of millions of emails a year. So obviously email systems are a big deal. He has 1 to 200,000 subscribers who follow Alex online. I'm one of them. And then the average emails per lead. Look, he's sending you an email almost every other day. That's a lot of engagement. That's a lot of touch points. So he's saying he might need over 200 touch points to turn someone into a client. And then he can calculate from emails how many he's going to convert. So you see how if he knows from his email list and he has this number, he can forecast his revenue. You see how all of these are leading indicators of revenue coming later. So get on your email marketing, folks. Then, of course, as Grant says, you got to send them a proposal. So you got to send out a quote so people can buy it. He's sending out 600,000 to 800,000 quotes. I don't know why all of them weren't sent. And 60 to 80% closure rate. That means he's going to hit that $4,000 customer. So you see, he was aiming for 4,000 customers out of the 6,000 prospects. Okay? Now he can start to calculate some of the KPIs or key performance indicators. These we also put on your revenue command center. These percentages, your visitor to lead conversion, your lead to sales qualified to opportunity, opportunity to close, and then you can do the overall visitor to customer conversion. See, it's only 4 out of 1,000 visitors. But that's good to know. So you need more visitors if you want more customers. Right? All right. Then he starts looking at his sales team. These were calls, he said. So he's figuring out how many calls and meetings can people have per day and per month. The close rate per month. So each person he adds will bring in another 300 to 400K in revenue. It's pretty good if they have enough leads to process. Then remember that cold email marketing, he knows the opening rate. That's really high. Most people are like in the more of the 10 or lower. I don't open all the emails I get from Alex. And then some click through because he's putting tons of value in it. I'm going to show you an example of why I would click through his email. Some are no longer interested and they unsubscribe. And then with using attribution, we can see who's engaging with his email and what touch points they want. He's gathering intelligence. It's almost like he's automatically selling them just through email nurturing. Now, that's the good news. The bad news is this adds up to over 20 software platforms, over 100 API integrations. That's connecting systems to sync data. And you're going to have to make sure that data stays synced. That's one of our things our revenue command center does. And hopefully you have good systems that run and stay up. But here's the brutal truth. You are looking at tracking some 137,000 tracked events a day. That many web visitors. Currently, Alex has 86,000 web visitors. I'll show you how I found that out. 300 leads a day, 45 sales calls, 70,000 emails a day, and 27 customers landed. All right, so, it's not just about the offer, is it then? It's really about building these systems that will track all those KPIs and activity and automate that activity. You can't send that many emails manually. It has to be automated. All right, so he never totally explains all these, but I'm about to. So once you get that offer, he explains there's 4 main ways to I don't have that page bookmarked. There's 4 more main ways to get leads. First, he offers is like a quadrant. 1 is warm. Those are basically people you already know. Your mom, your friends, your colleagues, your buddies on LinkedIn, your college buddies, your whoever, the neighbor next door, anybody you run into, people at church, whatever. People on the street. I know a guy who still literally just goes to a busy part of town and literally just talks to everyone he meets on the street. And that's how he sells today. A high B2B ticket offer. Just go talk to people. Okay, so now you know them. You can ping them on social. You can email them since you have your email address in your contacts. You can text them. You can make them an offer. You can follow up, call them, set an appointment for coffee or a meeting. Maybe they'll give you a referral, and maybe you'll close the deal. This is basically classic brute force business development. But this doesn't scale so well, but it gives you a really good start because you can grow from it and learn from it about how good your offer's working with people you already know. Now, this is where he crushes it. The second thing you can always do, it's free and it's a free country, you can post free content. So go on all these channels, you know what they are, make content. I'm not even going to talk about the content making systems, but just suffice to say, there are lots of tools to help automate, make content. There's tons of people offering to help. AI helps. There's all kinds of solutions out there. All the platforms have free tools you can use. So take advantage of those. The next one is cold. These are people who don't know you. And so, by the way, social used to be just people following me like on Facebook would see my Facebook post, but the world has changed now, especially with TikTok. Now everyone's followed. I can have no followers on TikTok and get a viral post they show to 1 million people. 1 million people I don't even know. So social is now going out of your warm circle to your cold circle, people you don't even know. So that's basically what marketing is, getting your name out there to people who don't know you. So it's cold outreach. Typically, this is happening through email. There's lots of email providers with the Freedom of Information Act. You're probably getting spammed all the time, email and text from people you don't know. You can do that too. There's tons of services out there. But you got to do it right. You have to warm up your domain or everyone's going to call you a spammer and your domain will get blocked, which is horrible because then you can't even send emails to your friends because all the email companies think you're a spammer. So do not get your domain flagged. So warm up your domain for email carefully. And there's literally a whole subsystem of tools that just help with email domain warm-ups. Same with texting. You cannot just go text people you don't know. You have to get the official 5-digit number and file with the regulators, become a proven business before you can, and people have to opt in to texts. I actually heard secondhand, I don't know if it's true, sorry to spread this about Alex, but I heard he was perhaps getting investigated for some of these rules, and right, so these are rules, so just play by the rules, all I can say. And then, of course, you have to write that outbound email sequence. He said he sends up to 200 a year, so you almost need an email writer. All right, so, and then the last way is paid ads. This is how you can either retarget those warm people, what they call retargeting, or find net new people. I'm going to give you a really quick demo of this. A lot of people don't know about this. Have you heard of the Facebook ads library? All right, well, I'm going to show it to you. If you go to the Facebook ads library, and here I am, you can look up anyone's ad. It's public knowledge, what people are doing online in some cases. On Meta, it is. And so you can see, looks like the real Alex Hormozi. I don't know who these other Alex Hormozis are. But I just searched on the real Alex. That looks like him. That's my guy. You can find out about him. All of his pages, what does he do? His Instagram, 3.7 million followers, and then so on. But look at this. We can see his actual ads. And he does a lot of this like guerrilla marketing. So if you find someone in your space that you admire their ads, you can just go look them up. And so you can see...
I think that one of the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make, myself included, when I was earlier on, is that I didn't understand the difference between A and B talent. You can pay A talent 30% above market and get 10x the output. And like,
all of his wisdom is usually baked into the ads, and the ads look a lot like posts. So here's another thing, a mistake a lot of people make. Their ads look like ads. They look like a company made them. The whole point of social media is that your ads looks like Alex made it, or it's a clip from his podcast or whatever. So very kind of guerrilla style. Even an ad that is literally an ad of a post is popular these days. You can even see it, see what he's doing, and then see what it links to. He's sending people into his funnel. Okay? So you can go look up the ads. Google has the same thing. I'll show you a little bit about Google's network. I think my video stopped. But I just went to search because I'm logged in to an account. I just looked up AdWords login, and it actually brought up a bunch of stats about my campaigns. This is kind of cool. They're limited by budget. They want more money. And then you can literally see how campaigns are performing inside of Google Ads, all these various campaigns. And Google Analytics tracks the sources of the page views, and all that data we were talking about earlier is all being tracked through Google Analytics. And we set up the events we want to track through our funnels with Google Tag Manager. And I'll show you more about that later as well. Okay, so there's lots of tools in Google. All of them are free. Well, not all of them, but these that I'm showing you are. And this is one way to go track all your paid ads stuff and your funnel performance. And so what I'm really showing you is this is what we do. When we say a revenue command center, we're going to use all these tools from the known platforms from Google and Meta and so on to set up your revenue command center so you can track to your revenue targets and make your 100 million. It's basically what our firm does. And you're going to see that's why I can rip through this like a ninja. So here's one reason most business owners fail to implement Hormozi's strategies. They're missing these critical systems. Almost anyone could sit down, write one of those irresistible offers, and price it, right? Like literally in a half-hour workshop. You can make up You can go through his thing. He said you could read the audio book in 2 days. That's not the catch. The catch is here. They don't realize the entire solution is really technology and software and systems implementations. Because if you saw that offers in that Meta ad, right? And that's exactly why we offer this systems implementation blueprint, and to focus on the revenue driving activities. And Alex says this over and over. Most people severely underestimate the revenue generating activity needed. And isn't that true? Did you see those numbers? They were kind of shockingly high, right? And then most people, you look at their CRM and their marketing automation is terrible. Their impressions, they may not even be tracking impressions. Some may not even be running ads or doing social. And most of the time, all that stuff's not connected and integrated correctly because they have to be to get them to work. All that traffic is coming into funnels and lead magnets. And so that offer really has to get bundled into some sort of lead magnet that people want for free typically before they buy. And so not only do you need that irresistible offer, but to get them to bite on the offer, you usually bundle it with something free or a guarantee or no money down or don't pay until you're happy or something. And then all that data typically funnels into your CRM, a customer relationship management system, because writing all this down on a spreadsheet is a total pain in the butt. So you really need a decent CRM like HubSpot or a cheap one like Go High Level, or there's a million out there. Okay, so now I'm going to jump into another piece of the demo. I'm going to break down what's actually happening on acquisition.com. I'm going to just show you real world examples of how Alex's stuff is set up. Okay, I am going to drag this out of the way so that I can show you these tabs back here that I've prepared for you. All right, so first of all, we got acquisition.com. Right off the bat, you see the founder story, Alex. And, oh my gosh, she's going to kill me. Layla, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I just cut that out of the video. Right off the bat, you got the husband-wife, the 1-2 touch point in sales, if you know what that is. One person's selling over here, and then he refers them to their boss, and their boss picks up. You're going to see Alex and Layla do this all the time. Right there, their smiling face. You can get a quote, a typical looking website, but what do you see right off the bat? Learn to scale. This goes right into a funnel. Boom. And down below, if you don't bite on that, a bunch of free stuff, right? He's going to try to capture the lead on me. He's going to give me free advanced training. More value. He's killing me with value. Free. I'll show you what these are. And then the classic founder story and another swing it. This is another freebie that you get. He'll make you this thing. Try this. This is cool. I did this a few days ago. All right, and so if you want to see what's going on here, I'll just show you, I'll close the loop. I use a couple tools. One of my favorite is WhatRuns. You might want to get that. We'll put the link down below, I hope. We can see that he's using HubSpot. Good choice. Shopify for selling his products. He does sell some books and so on. Merch that you can get. So he has an e-commerce store. All kinds of analytics from the Facebook Pixel, Google Analytics, and HubSpot. We like to track all 4, or if not even 4 or 5 sources of data until they all correlate. Then we know our data is trustworthy. We like to validate it from at least 2 independent sources that it's correct. More things, DoubleClick is an advertising platform for pay-per-click. You can see the tags, Google Tag Manager that I demoed for you, and so on. So I can see right away what his tech stack is using a tool like this. Remember I told you how many web visitors he gets? This is kind of cool. It kind of gives you a quick SEO rundown. It shows that he is getting that kind of traffic that he claimed to be getting. Lots of good little plugins. You're welcome to steal all of mine. And then let's see. Let's close. We got to close this guy before we fire up his pixels. Come on. Let me refresh. They don't always work, of course, just like anything. You can see all his Google tags. There's a Google Tag Manager plugin, and then the pixel, you can see he actually has 3 different pixels. The pixel is the intelligence from Meta. So you want to turn the Meta's brain on to go find your customers. That's what the pixel's doing. It's sending page view events and hopefully conversion events down through the funnel. So as people move through the customer journey, you're telling Meta, this is a good customer, this isn't, this is. And so Meta will go find you better people. So you spend more money with Meta, but it works. So that's what the pixel's doing. All right, and then the next thing he does is he jumps you into, and he said throughout the book are these QR codes that jump you into the free training. So if you really want to hack and you don't like to read, then he talks about all this free training, right? Let's just go to the $100 million offer book. And here it is, the free training. So he's offering the free training. It's kind of funny.
Welcome, my name's Alex Hormozi. I'm the CEO of Acquisition.com.
Alex in his man bun format, like any good Herculean buff dude, he wears tight shirts. I, being kind of scrawny, and I wear more loose-fitting clothing. But it's pretty good. He demos all this stuff. And look, these are literally all the content out of the book taught by Alex himself.
What's going on, everyone? My
How
name
to
is
pick
Alex
your
Hormozi.
market,
I'm
how
the
to
CEO.
make your offer. So you can watch all his videos for free. And even little tools like the offer creation checklist. See, he's killing you with value. Just giving it away. Just giving it away. And then, of course, the whole time they're trying to capture the lead with this, hey, if you're tired of watching videos, why don't you come meet Alex and Layla at their nice office in Vegas. They're always trying to meet people in person. Okay? So I love this. This is free video training. And then so on. Like I said, he's got books, he's got media, he's got all kinds of stuff, podcasts. And then if you do want to go learn to scale, this is a funnel. So if I click let's go back to, boom, straight into the funnel off the button on the home page. So we talked about funnels being different on a website. See, the website didn't really convert. There's nothing to do. The funnel is usually that form. But see, now the navigation's gone. The colors even changed. There's one message. Learn how to scale your business. Get to that 100 million. Everyone wants to scale. Little scarcity. It's only 100 people. It's in person. You get to meet with the experts. And then a little video testimonial. Yes, I'm ready to scale. Boom, straight into essentially their application funnel. These are called. They're collecting more data about you. Now they're getting the lead and texting you. But what they're trying to do is figure out, are you even worth working with? Do you even have a company? And so on. So depending on what you say here, these are conditional funnels. They offer you X or they offer you Y. So based on how you answer these questions are then what they call order bumps. They will then make this offer or that offer, whichever one kind of fits your price point or whatever. And then lots of social proof and so on, and lots of pictures and testimonials and so on. FAQs, objection. These are objection handling. Wait, what is it? Where do I register? All the questions that you want answered in your mind, the analytical mind, are usually in FAQs. And that action, I want to scale, I'm ready to scale, it's a commitment. Now they know you're taking like buying intent. All right. So good, juicy buttons. Look at these big, the one thing I wanted, right? The one thing I wanted to scale to 100 million. So he's just trying to figure out who's ready to scale. I already showed you that, the library. All right, that's the offer stack. I showed you my tools like Wappalizer. Showed you how the books tie in. So he's going online, offline. Now I'm going to show you the email nurturing. You know, we talked a lot about email. Now, I didn't buy. And so here they come. Well, I did. I bought his books, but I bought them on Amazon. Paperbacks are a little cheaper. He sells hardbacks on his site. Again, you guys should get these. They belong in your library for sure. Let me demo you the email nurture sequence and the 1-2 punch that I mentioned. So I get this here. Congrats. You're in. Are you ready? Oh, ready for what? Even the email he's sending from is value@acquisition.com. He just keeps hitting you with value. He's very consistent with his message. He's got a big announcement. There's a secret chapter coming, which I think is different than his big announcement. And see, he's making this 9.5 times profitable advertising. Well, gosh, that's awesome. And he shows you how to do it. And all you have to do is hit reply yes. He's trying to engage me. Even if I don't want the chapter, I just hit yes, which I did. I just wrote back yes. Then he sent me the chapter. So see, immediately he got engagement in a crappy email because he's giving me more value. And I do want the next chapter because I just spent the last week reading these 2 books preparing for this workshop for you. All right, so the next email, that wasn't it. This one's now signed Layla, the 1-2 sales touch. She's now saying, why don't you come to our, she's making the offer. Alex gave me a free bit of news, juicy news, and more value, a free chapter. And she, 2 seconds later, invites me out to Vegas. Again, you want to scale their portfolio, and they tout their progress. They're at 250 million, probably rapidly on their way to $1 billion. So I get an email from her, and then immediately, here's the new chapter. You click on it, and it opens a PDF download, what they call a lead magnet. It's usually a tangible thing you get. A free chapter, a transcript, a something, a free training, a something. And dang, it's almost more than a chapter. I was pleasantly surprised. It's 24 pages. A little hard to read, but he's going into that offer stack and why do you want to make premium offers. A lot of good nuggets in here. But he's always sharing the truth. He just doesn't talk much about the systems, at least in these things. But that's why I'm here. I'm helping you interpret this into the software platforms you're going to need to build and integrate. Yeah, so that's the piece about demoing the email nurturing. So because I haven't bought his offer yet, I haven't gone out to Vegas and paid the big bucks, which I'm sure it's not cheap. Maybe it's $25K for 2 days with them. But he's going to keep trying to sell me and kill me with value. I'm also getting some texts. I can't show you, but let me just break it down for you. So this the 5 key systems, if you want to write this down, if you're going to stop the video, stop it right after this, although I wouldn't because I'm going to cover a bunch of stuff at the end, the full systems breakdown. The top 5 systems, at the very least, we saw it goes into a funnel. That funnel almost always has a video sales letter, they call it, a video explaining it. You saw all of his ads were a video explaining it that went clicked straight to a lead. Those go into the CRM. And you can't manually follow up 100,000 times, so you need to make this email nurture sequence. Some CRMs have it. Some people use a third-party system for the email nurture. And then you need what's called the call to action. And since it was booking a calendar meeting, you need a good calendar tool that will rotate, allow you to book the meeting at the right times with the right people, the right salespeople. So you need a booking calendar tool like Calendly, or they're all over the place. A lot of systems have them. And then, of course, we need the data. So you have to have an analytics tool like Google Analytics and Google Tag Manager, and then connect all the data possible off all the sites and funnels and everything. So you're not flying blind. You want to see how things are working. So it's just a data exercise. Collect the data, see what's working, double down on what works, stop doing what doesn't work. It's really that easy, and iterate. And you just get better and better over time. And then my favorite, I mentioned it earlier, is Google and Meta are really good at AI. They're leading AI, and so is also Microsoft, and they also have their own advertising network with so you want to send data back to your partners like Google, Meta, and Microsoft. So they're out searching for your clients for you, using all of their intelligence, which is far superior to your company's intelligence, right? So they know exactly how to get the ads to work. And so that's why you saw so many ads from him. You want about 18 variants in your ads and different formats, from video to carousels to stills, so that AI can optimize what people like, what type of ads. Like, I don't like clicking on videos, so I'd prefer to swipe a carousel. So they probably figured that out about me. Okay, I know, how does he integrate data? We saw it in Wappalizer. He has Google Analytics, HubSpot Analytics, Facebook Pixel, and a click tracking analytics platform, and maybe even more. So I showed you this already. And so with this now, I talked about you want to follow the money in the revenue systems. If you focus on revenue, they call it a relentless pursuit of revenue. Sounds mean, doesn't it? It's not. It's smart, because if you had money, you can give it away, and you can pay people more, and you can help people. It's not bad. And there's an unlimited supply of money. Probably a nice person like you deserves a little more, and you probably use it wisely. So you want to set up this analytics revenue command center. I've given you a lot of the pieces here today. I showed you how Alex does it. And then if you want to jump on a call with me, I'll show you how we do it. But you want this revenue command center hyper-focused on the revenue-driving activities and targets. You need the ads all set up, because the ads get to that return on advertising spend, but UTM is a type of tracking parameter, tracking metrics, universal tracking metrics. I forgot the actual acronym. But it's per person. You actually can see it in these links. You ever see this question mark UTM, the campaign? It came from the 100%, the 100 million, that means money model, from an email nurture is the medium that they sent me. And it came out of a HubSpot automation. You can see what they're using a lot just by studying their links. I don't know if you ever geek out like that. We set all this up for our clients. Most people never set this up. It's a shame. It's a shame. You're leaving so much money on the table because you're just throwing out all your data and intelligence. If all your dashboards just say there's no UTM parameters or undefined, you have screwed up. All right? So I want you to track everything down to the individual. That's how he can see who's engaging on what. And that increases their likelihood of how they talk to them by building up a profile on them on who they can help. Then you got to really follow the conversions. You got to get the conversion rates up to best practices. And it's just tragic when someone has a good offer, but it's not converting. Usually because of the way their software's set up. Or I even see websites with no button and no call to action and no contact us. Like, literally you cannot get a lead out of this website. That's just silly. And then of course, the CRM tracks people up that value ladder. And if the CRM's set up right, it forecasts your revenue based on who's in your funnel. A very huge leading indicator of future revenue. Okay, and now, do you know how much this is really costing you, the hidden cost of implementing this system? Well, I told you it already has a positive ROI, but there is time. It takes time to think about your business, to build it correctly, and to architect your company to scale. And even that ad I clicked, he said he hadn't met a company that can't get to 100 million. So it is possible. We're all just leaving money on the table, or we don't implement. So the hidden cost is really you need to sit down and take the time to either work with a consultant like us or your own team to figure this out, stand it up, test it, get it working, iterate, A/B test, and optimize it until you're hitting these kind of best practice targets. And what he really doesn't tell you, he never mentions anything about systems. I'm not even sure I've ever heard him say it. So, just so you know, what should you be spending? It's typical that a company has a systems budget, look it up, somewhere around 10 to 20% of your gross revenue. So if you're at 10 million, you should be spending 1 to 2 million on your systems. And that's both licenses and effort and labor and the people to run them and so on. Also, there's usually a marketing budget of about 10%. So then more on ads and social media. So you should be investing pretty heavily in this promotion if you want that revenue. And then most people feel like they don't have the money because they're too stuck struggling doing their manual tasks. And so they don't have enough money, so they do it manually because they don't want to hire and they can't afford to buy ads and so on. But they really have to flip the script and budget for that. And that's what we build into your revenue command center. How much should you budget to get this money? And it has a positive ROI. And that's how companies grow. Okay? All right, so I said by the end I will give you the final summary. So, here's his systems that I counted up. I'm not even counting each ad platform. I'll just throw all those into one, but he's on at least 10. This is probably 10 here, or 12 or more. Not even including podcasts, radio, TV. I don't know what else he's on. He's got all the organic posts. He's got an email engine and a newsletter. He said for sure he's doing cold outreach. He's doing cold SMS. He clearly has the HubSpot CRM. It looks like he's got it set up pretty well. He's got a website. A couple websites. I didn't show you some of them. And it's not uncommon to have 10 or more funnels. Each one's a different lead magnet. You saw one's for a course, one's for a book, one's for a free chapter. So each offer gets its own funnel. He's integrating with Meta. He's integrating with AdWords. He's using the Meta Business Suite. He's using Google Analytics for analytics. Google Tag Manager. His Shopify stores e-commerce for selling products online. I think I mentioned warming up domains. Almost always someone's doing some sort of automation with a Zap. It's not uncommon to have companies with thousands of Zaps. Again, maybe some more email nurturing, appointment setting. I'm sure he's got AI connected to all kinds of things. I have another video that goes on and on about how all this fits into AI. Go watch that one. He said he's sending out proposals, so he must have a proposal estimating tool. And then we saw a couple application funnels, like see if you apply or see if you qualify. Those are how you literally apply to be part of this thing, like creating like scarcity, like I hope I make it. If there's a contract, there must be some sort of sign off or DocuSign or payment. He's probably sending you an invoice, what they call the quote to cash, send the quote, but when does the cash arrive? Clearly, there's an accounting system. Maybe that is or isn't the invoicing system. And I'm not even counting the probably hundreds of other systems he has. Like, how do they collaborate in Google Docs or Microsoft Teams? Inside of video and podcasting, there are tons of tools, as you know. To make content, many tools. He said he's doing calling, probably automated calling. He must have a phone system. He must have other financial systems he's using because he invests in other companies. So he's probably doing financial modeling, tracking his investments and returning capital to investors. He's doing all this training. I don't even know how he delivers all that. There's probably all kinds of systems for that, how they operate and run things and their meeting cadence. He's got to make the books, store and ship them, fulfillment and shipping the books and other products. He talks a lot in his book about his partner network that he drives business from. I'm sure there's platforms for that, of a referral network. He mentioned affiliates and channel partners. Almost all those are separate systems or even full platforms. If you made it to the end, now you can see that revenue systems behind his $100 million offer. And by now you should understand why most entrepreneurs get stuck trying to implement his strategies. This is literally what I do, and I'm an expert at it, and it's still sometimes a grind to get all this stuff right. So if you're facing the exact roadblocks I just identified, like your current systems can't scale to handle the offer creation process, or you can't get your offer out there to enough people, you lack a clear path to tracking those revenue targets, or that tracking is a pain in the butt on spreadsheets, it really needs to be automated. And maybe you're wasting time on manual processes that should be automated, like emailing clients and following up. Look, hey, it's not your fault. It's not everybody's bag to be good at systems. You need a revenue system that doubles your business without doubling the workload, you see? Because that's why I'm offering you a free revenue call. You made it all this way. On this call, I'm gonna map out exactly what systems you need to implement first. Not all of them at once. The ones you need to implement first to overcome those roadblocks. How we start making money immediately and the ROI is positive immediately. And that will then create this predictable path to your revenue growth. Do you see how predictable it is? Now that you see the leads coming in and the traffic and everything coming in, he can predict his revenue is going to grow because he's getting the leads, he's getting the calls. His stuff is set up, and that's why he's growing like this. So please click the link in the description and you can schedule your revenue clarity call today. All right, thank you guys so much. Please, again, subscribe, get that, comment below. If there's anything you wanted to hear about, put it in the comments. I'll try to answer every single comment. And if you want a bigger breakdown on anything, say, what about this and what about that? I'll put it in my backlog and I'll make a video about that. I'm actually working on a series to make videos for a lot of the top coaches and what they recommend, and then what the systems are that you need to implement to follow their advice. Again, thank you so much for watching. Take care.